So hello and good morning to everyone. So today's lead code question is 1871, that is jump game part 7. So basically in this question we are given a binary string s and two integers minimum jump and maximum jump, and initially we are at index number 0, and what we need to do is we need to reach index number n minus 1, right? And at index number 0 we have the character as 0, and what we need to do is we can jump from any index I to j if s of j if s of j is equal to 0, if s of j is equal to 0, and this index j lies in the range I plus min jump to I plus max jump, right? So if this index j lies in the jump range of I, then only we can jump from I to j, and also the second condition, that is the character at index j should be 0. So these are the two conditions to jump from index I to j, right? And what we need to do is we need to return true if we can reach index n minus 1 in the string, else we have to return false, right? So let's see examples. So the first example, that is string this, and minimum jump is 2 and maximum jump is 3. So initially we are at index number 0. So what are the jump range of 0? That is 0 plus 2 comma 0 plus 3. So we can jump to index number 2 to 3. So if you see at index 2 we have character as 1, so we can't jump index 2. So we can jump to index 3. Yes, we can jump to index 3. So we have jumped to index 3. Now if you see at index 3 we can jump to 3 plus 2 and 3 plus 3, that is 5 comma 6. But 6 is out of the bounds, 6 is not present in the string index. So we can jump to index number 5, and at index 5 we have character as 0. So our goal was to reach this index, and we have reached our goal, so we return true, right? So let's see the example number 2. Again in example number 2 we are at index number initially we are at index 0, and we can jump to either 0 plus 2 and 0 plus 3. So this is the range we can jump from index 0 to this indexes. So if you'll see again at index 2 we have character 1, so we can't jump at index 2. Then can we jump at index 3? Yes, we can jump at index 3, right? Now from index number 3 we can jump to these indexes, that is 5 comma 6. We can jump to either index 5 and index 6, but at both indexes we have character 1, so we can't jump at 5 and we can't jump at 6. So we got stuck at index number 3. So we are unable to reach our index n minus 1, so we have to return false, right? So we return false. So let's see the constraints. So string dot length is 10k power 5, and each element in the array in the string is either 0 or 1, and character at index 0 is 0, and minimum jump and maximum jump can also be up to 10k power 5. So here string length is 10k power 5, so we have to think of some solution of big of n or big of n log n, because n square in worst case will give us time limit exceed. So let's start with the approach. So what we'll doing is we'll be using dp with sliding window to solve this problem. So our we are initially at index number 0, and then from any index I we can jump to index I plus min jump and index I plus max jump. So in this range we can only jump from index I to index j if j lies in this range, and also s of j is 0. So these are the two conditions, and now our goal is to reach or to determine whether can we reach index n minus 1 from index 0. If we can reach, then we have to return true, else we have to return false, right? Now we are assuming that we want to determine whether this index I is reachable or not, So suppose if this I is reachable, then there should be a previous index j. There should be a previous index j from which we can jump to this index I, right? So for that this index I should lie in the jump range of this index j. And what is the jump range of index j? That is j plus min jump, j plus min jump comma j plus max jump. So this is the jump range of this index j. So if you have to jump from j to I, then I should lie in this range, right? So we can write it as, that is j plus min jump is less than equal to I, and I is less than or equal to j plus max jump, right? So this is the inequality that we get, right? Now if we solve this inequality, let's take its LHS part, that is j plus min jump is less than equal to I. J plus min jump is less than equal to I. So if we shift this min jump to the RHS, then j is less than or equal to I minus min jump. So we get our first inequality, right? And then we solve this right RHS part of, that is I is less than or equal to j plus max jump. And then if we shift max jump to the LHS, then we get j is greater than I minus max jump. J is greater than I minus max jump. So this is our second inequality. So if we combine the first inequality and second inequality, then what we get? Then we get that j is greater than I minus max jump, and j is less than I minus min jump. And what is j? So j was the previous index from which we can jump to I, so this range that is I minus max jump to I minus min jump is the range of the previous positions, from which we can jump to I, so the range of the indexes from which we can jump to I are I minus max jump to I minus min jump, right? So this is the range from which we can jump to index number I, right? So we'll be using this, so remember this thing, right? This range. And next what we'll do is we'll use a DP array. So dp of I will tell whether this index I, it will be reachable or not. So if dp of I is true, if it is true, that means this index is reachable, else it is not. And initially we know we are at index number 0. So dp of 0 will be true because we have reached index number 0. So now if we see if any index I, it will be reachable if first condition s of I will be 0, right? This is the first condition. Second condition, there should a previous index j, that is reachable. And as we know, the range of j was I minus max jump, comma I minus min jump. This is we have found. So if there exists any index in this range, which is reachable, then from that index we can jump to index I, right? So for index I to be reachable, first condition is s of I is equal to 0, and at least one index in this range that is already reachable, then we can reach index I. That means to mark dp of I as true, first condition is s of I should be 0, and there exists an index j in this range such that dp of j for that index is true, right? Then we can jump from that index j to index I, right? Now the thing here is we need to check in this range that whether there is any j for that dp of j is true, right? So how will be checking that? So the brute force approach is that we'll iterate over the whole range, or we can scan the whole range. So while scanning the whole range, the time complexity will be big of n into max jump minus min jump, right? Max jump minus min jump to scan the range, and we have n indexes, so the total time complexity is n into max jump minus min jump. But n is 10 ki power 5, and max jump and min jump can also be 10 की power 5. So in worst case, when max jump is 10 ki power 5 and min jump is 1, in that case our time complexity will be big of n square or 10 ki power 10. So that will give us time limit exceed. So now we need to optimize the way we are checking our range, right? So what we do is we need to optimize this. We'll be using sliding window. So as we know, we when we move from index I to I plus 1, our range also shifts by one index. Range also shifts by one index or one position, right? So now instead of rescanning the whole range, we just add a new element to the range and remove the last element that is going out of the range, right? Because let's say for index I, this is the range, then for index I plus 1, this will be the range, then that means a new element has been added and a older element has been removed, right, from this range. So we'll be using sliding window. So what we do is, as we know, for current index I, the previous positions are I minus max jump and I minus min jump, from which we can jump to I. So basically what we do, we have used a variable named as reachable, and what this variable does is it will count indexes j for which dp of j is equal to true in the current window. So if this variable that is reachable is greater than 0, that means there are variables, that means there are indexes in the jump range, and those variables are reachable, right? So how we will be updating our window? So if you see, for index I the range is I minus max jump, I minus min jump, right? This is the range for index I. Then for I plus 1 it will be I plus 1 minus max jump, and I plus 1 minus min jump. So the new element that is being added for index I plus 1 is I I plus 1 minus min jump, that is current index minus min jump. Current index minus min jump is the new element that has been added. So let's say current index is I, then the new element will be I minus min jump. So this element is entering our window. So we check whether the dp value for this index is true. If that dp value for this index is true, then we increment a reachable variable by 1. Now we need to remove the old variable that is leaving the window. So earlier in the window, what is the last variable? That is I minus max jump. So now our current index is I plus 1, and here if we put I as current minus 1, then our variable will be current minus 1 minus max window. That is our current variable minus max jump minus 1 will be the variable that is leaving the window. Now if we assume current variable as I, then it will be I minus max jump minus 1. This will leave the window. So if this variable was reachable, that means the dp value of this variable was true, then we reduce our reachable by 1. And now if we have to check for index I, then we check if reachable value is 0. If reachable value is greater than 0, that means there was a previous index j that was reachable from index 0. That means we have reached from index 0 to j, and now from j will be jumping to I. And also the second condition, s of I is equal to 0. Then if both conditions satisfies, then we mark our current index as true. That means this index is also reachable. So this is our approach part. Now we try to understand this approach with the help of an example. So we have taken this string, and min jump is 2 and max jump is 3, and initially our dp value, so dp of 0 is true and all the other dp values are false, right? And we have taken a reachable variable whose initial value is 0, and it will store the number of uh, it will count the number of indexes in our range such that for those indexes our dp value is true. For those indexes our dp value is true. So at index number I is equal to 1, what is the valid previous range from which we can jump? So that is 1 minus max jump. Max jump is 2 and sorry 3. 1 minus max jump and 1 minus min jump. That is minus 2 comma minus 1. So these are the range of the indexes from which we can jump to I is equal to 1. But if you see, these are the invalid indexes. These are the invalid indexes. So so we the new entering index in the window is, that is I minus minimum jump. It will enter the window, and which is minus 1, which is invalid. So there is no change. There is no change in the reachable variable. It will be still 0. Then if you have to remove the old index, which will be leaving the window, so which is I minus max jump minus 1. So this index is leaving the window, which is minus 3. Again it is invalid. So again there is no change in the reachable variable, it is still 0. Now if you have to check for I is equal to 1, our reachable variable is equal to 0. That means there is no previous index. There is no previous index from which we can jump to I is equal to 1, right? So what we need to do is we need to mark dp of 1 as false. Dp of 1 as false because there is no previous reachable index exists, right? So then we move to next index, that is I is equal to 2. Again the range is 2 minus 3 and 2 minus 2. So that is minus 1 comma 0. So from these indexes only we can jump to I equal to 2. So when we have to add the new index, and that is I minus min jump. I minus min jump, that is 2 minus 2 yani 0. And as we know, dp of 0 is true. That means the index 0 is reachable. So from index 0 we can jump to index 2. So if dp of 0 is 2, then what we'll do is we'll increase reachable by 1. So now our reachable variable has become 1. And now we have added the new element to the window. Now we need to remove the old index from the window, but the old index, that is I minus max jump minus 1, is minus 2, and that is invalid. So we do not remove anything, right? So now if we see, our reachable variable is greater than 0, which is 1. That means at least we have one previous index from which we can jump to index number 2. But the second condition, that is s of 2 is 1. S of 2 is 1. So but the second condition, that is s of 2 should be equal to 0, is not satisfying. So we can't jump to index number 2. So again dp of 2 is false, right? Then we move to index number 3. So at index number 3, the previous range will be 3 minus 3 and 3 minus 2. So these are the indexes, that is 0 to 1. So either we can jump from index number 0 or index number 1 if we have to reach index number 3. Now the new index is index number 1, which is entering the window. So if we see dp of 1 is false. Dp of 1 is false. So we won't do any change to reachable variable, it will be still 1. Now we need to remove the old index. Now we need to remove old index, which is I minus max jump minus 1, and that leads to value minus 1, and minus 1 is invalid. Minus 1 is invalid. So if we see, our reachable variable count is 1, and our s of 3 is equal to 0. So now our both conditions are satisfying, means we have one previous index we have one previous index from which we can reach to index 3, and s of 3 is equal to 0. So we mark dp of 3 is equal to true. That means this index 3 is reachable from index number 0. So after this state, our dp is at dp of 0 is true, then these two are false, and then dp of 3 is again true. Then we solve for I is equal to 4, but I at I is equal to 4, at I is equal to 4, the reachable is equal to 0, so there is no valid previous index, so we mark dp of 4 as false. Then at I is equal to 5, at I is equal to 5, we get dp of 3 as true, so we increase reachable by 1, and s of 5 is equal to 0, s of 5 is equal to 0 and reachable is greater than 0, then we mark dp of 5 as true. So after processing all the states, this is our dp array, and if we see at n minus 1 in the dp we have true, that means we can reach from index 0 to index n minus 1, so we return true as the answer. So this way we use dp and sliding window to solve the problem. So let's move to the code part. So in the code part we have taken a dp array, and we have marked dp of 0 as true, and then we have taken the reachable variable, and then we start from index number I is equal to 1, and now for I is equal to 1, what will be the new variable that will be entering the window, and that is I minus minimum jump. I minus min jump is the new variable that is entering the window. So we check whether that variable is greater than or equal to 0, and if that variable is previously reachable or not. If that variable is greater than or equal to 0 and previously reachable, that means previously reachable means dp of that variable is true, then we increase the reachable count by 1, right? And we need to remove the old variable that is leaving the window, that is I minus max jump minus 1. So we check whether this index was previously reachable or not. So if it was previously reachable, then we have to decrease the reachable count by 1. And now if our reachable value is 0 and our current value in the string is 0, that means this index is also reachable, so we mark dp of I as true. And at the end what we'll do is we need to check whether what is the dp variable at index n minus 1. So if it is true means reachable, if it is false means we can't reach, and that is what we need to return. So I hope I am able to explain you the solution properly. So if you like the video, please make sure to like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.